Hello and welcome to Cosmic Nebula. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about a topic that came up recently, just talking to people online. It is the topic of why I do not follow any content creators and why I think that you shouldn't either. So I want people to understand something. This is just a hook to the video. I don't actually think that you shouldn't follow anybody on social media. And I don't actually think that following people on social media in and of itself is problematic. But over the last few years, I decided to stop following the vast majority of content creators that I like to watch. And I wanted to have a conversation about why that was. So whenever you click on any video on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, anywhere on the internet that people can upload content and make money, the content creator always says that you should subscribe to them, like them, follow them, comment, share their video so that their content can gain traction. And this is something that is so prolific in the online space that almost nobody thinks about it. We just think of it as something that content creators always say. But if you have ever watched Cosmic Nebula, you will know that I have never even once in all of my videos ever said this, and I will never say this. And a big reason why I don't say this is because, number one, I don't think that is necessary. Everybody knows how the internet works. Everybody knows that they can subscribe, comment, or like if they want to. So it seems like a waste of energy and a waste of time. But number two, a reason why I don't say this is because I feel like it creates this attitude with people who make content that they are owed something. So you can ask people to subscribe to your channel, you can ask people to like and comment, but at the end of the day, you are asking people to take even more time out of their lives to do you this favor. So in my opinion, as a content creator, it is a fair exchange to upload content to the internet and for people to come by and to watch it. And I think that that trade is fair enough. And if people wanted to do more, I think that's fine for them to do it, but I think that they should do it on their own and of their own volition. And so for that reason, I don't ever ask people to do any of these things for me. But one of the biggest reasons why I don't do it for other content creators is because most content creators do not acknowledge viewers at all. So the same content creators that will ask you to subscribe, they will ask you to like, they will ask you to leave a comment, they will ask you questions sometimes in the video about your opinion, or they will ask for feedback in the video. People will comment down below more often than not, and I want you to actually go and look at your favorite content creators anywhere on any platform. More often than not, they do not acknowledge comments at all. Occasionally you will see under some posts, you'll see one or two posts liked, but a lot of content creators don't acknowledge anything in the comment section at all. And I know for me personally, whenever I watch a video and I have something I want to say in a video, it is usually not just a small comment like "good video, keep it up." I'll actually write out paragraphs sometimes about something that happened in the video because it's pertinent to the content that I watch, because I mostly watch people giving their opinions on things, giving their point of views on things, debating things, being informative about things. So I generally watch content that is discussion-based content. And I noticed that even in discussion-based channels, a lot of content creators don't respond to viewers at all. And like most people, I've been on social media now for like 15 or 20 years, and I think that this behavior is so normalized that people don't really pay attention to it. But there were two instances a few years ago that really opened my eyes to how pervasive this fucking behavior is and how bad this behavior is. So I wanted to give a couple story times about why I stopped following content creators on most websites, because I think that most people will have had a similar experience, but a lot of people don't really think about it because, as I said, it's so normalized. So the first was a big content creator, and this channel is still a big channel on YouTube. I think that this channel has over 1 million subscribers the last time that I checked. And I noticed that this content creator only responds to other big content creators. So this was probably sometime during the pandemic where I was watching this YouTuber, and this YouTuber is similar to mine. It's another reaction-based, talking head, opinion giving. This content was not scripted. It was not a high production value content. It was just standing in front of the camera, reacting to a video or reacting to some kind of issue, some social issue, and giving their opinion on it, which is exactly the kind of content that I like. And so I remember at this time, I mostly believed the attitude that a lot of people tend to have when it comes to content creators acknowledging their viewers, where a lot of people like to say, oh, well, you know, they would respond to comments or respond to questions if they had time, but they're so busy making all of this content that they just don't have the time to do it. And so I believed that for a very, very long time. And so I had believed that lie that, content creators are just too busy to respond to comments at all. And so I remember on this channel, I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I did this on every video that I watched on this channel. And I had never seen this content creator respond to anybody except for one time. I was on a video and I'm scrolling and I scrolled past probably 100 different comments of people saying all kinds of things. Some people just making compliments, other people asking questions, other people adding in anecdotes, just a bunch of different comments. And so I stopped because an icon caught my eye. You will know that when a content creator likes or comments on another comment, there's like a little icon of their logo. And so there was an icon of the logo, and I remember it stood out because I was just like, I've never seen that before. And so I clicked on it, and they had just answered a comment that a random person made on their video. And I remember that the comment was just as innocuous as the other comment on the video. This comment did not contain any kind of special information, but what I did notice is that the person's name had a check mark next to it. And so I click on the profile of the person who made the comment, and I found that this was another big ass YouTube channel. And I remember, I think this was about the time that I started Cosmic Nebula. I remember being so taken aback by that because there were hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of other comments in this comment section. And this big YouTuber comes along and they write the most basic, most innocuous comment, and this YouTuber that seemed like really cool, a really cool person, really chill person, only felt like they had to respond to that one because that person was quote unquote famous and therefore worth their time. And I know now that on YouTube, if you didn't know this, you can actually go to the comment section of your YouTube Studio app, and then you can click on comments and you can sort the comments based on how many fucking subscribers the commenter has. So you can sort based on 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, and then 10 million. And so this content creator who never responds to any comments ever, they had to go through multiple steps to click through their comments and filter them based on how many subscribers a channel had, and then they only responded to one. Because as you know, it is not common for big YouTubers to comment on other content creators' content. It's just not. I would imagine that big YouTubers probably have like burner accounts that they use to like watch and comment on stuff just so that they don't attract a lot of attention. But I remember thinking like, are you serious? You ignored every single other person in this comment section, and you've done this for dozens of videos that I've seen, but the one time a big channel commented on your video, you only responded to them. And it wasn't like a business thing. Like, I could have understood it was like a business thing or asking for like an email address to like do a collaboration or something. That's reasonable. It was just another innocuous comment. And so that is when it's like a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, nah, I don't like people like this. And I don't like people like this. But the second story time is what broke the camel's back. So this was a small content creator. And this content creator only responds to famous content creators. This all happened about the same time. I remember I suddenly got recommended this new content creator who made similar videos, again, that I like. I like videos of people just talking about issues, reacting to things. This is why I make this type of content, because this is the type of content that I watch on YouTube. I mostly watch long form reaction, talking head content, and I make long form reaction, talking head content. And so this content creator popped up on my Instagram, and it was the exact fucking thing that I liked. Very direct, very frank, doesn't mince any words, just criticizing the behavior of people, talking about the downfall of society, how these types of people exist, and yada, yada, yada. This was exactly perfect. This was perfect. The algorithm delivered this person to me. It was the exact type of content that I like. And I remember at the time, you could not find content exactly like this type. There are a lot of commentary and quote unquote reaction channels on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, but in my opinion, a lot of them are very politically correct. A lot of them only criticize things that are socially acceptable to criticize, and they only criticize them in a way that is socially acceptable, if that makes any sense. Does everybody remember back when the whole trans thing was big? The vast majority of content creators were not really talking bad about like trans issues on the internet, but now that trans is out and Donald Trump is in office and it's popular to make fun of these types of people, you have way more content creators making fun of and criticizing trans issues. And I think that people have a right to say whatever they want anytime, anyway, but I don't really like the vast majority of reaction or opinionated channels because I think that a lot of them are not very authentic. But this person was super authentic, or so I thought. So I saw a video of this person and I clicked on their Instagram page and they had a bunch of different clips on there. And so I went through the clips and I was like, this is the exact type of shit that I fucking love. And so I click on it and I start following this person. And so this person's content kept popping up. And because this content creator's page was so small at the time, I think this person had maybe 1,000 or 2,000 followers at the time. And I remember I went on YouTube and I checked the YouTube page, and at the time they had literally a couple thousand fucking subscribers. And so this was a small ass channel. And so I was just like, whoa, like this is exactly the type of stuff that I like. Like I really like this. And so you know that for the content that you really like, you like to leave comments for people and like tell people that you really appreciate their content, and you encourage them, right, to just continue to keep posting. And so I sent this content creator a DM and I was just like, you know what? I love your content. I love that your content is so frank. Like most people don't have the guts to really say exactly what they think or say shit exactly how it is, right? Most people, they say things, as I said, in a very politically correct way. And this person wasn't doing that. And I really appreciated that because I felt like that distinguished them from a lot of other reaction and opinionated based channels. And so I sent the DM and I didn't expect at all any kind of response because I assumed that, you know what, people get a bunch of different DMs from a bunch of different people and they can't see all of them. They skip over them. They're busy making content, yada, yada, yada. And so I didn't think anything of it. But I remember that on Instagram, this person had posted a story. And you know how when you're on Instagram, you're like checking your stories, it clicks through all different stories from all of the different people that you follow. And so I was clicking through my stories for other accounts and I landed on the story for this account, and this person had screen capped a DM that they received from a verified famous content creator. I don't remember the content creator's name. Basically praising their content in the exact same fucking way that I did, that other people did, but this person completely ignored everybody else's DM but this large famous content creator's DM. This content creator's DM is worth screen capping and posting to the stories, right? Anybody else's praise, zero acknowledgement. Zero fucking acknowledgement. And so these two situations happened almost back to back to back. And so I was just like, nah, like I felt like at that moment it clicked for me that these people, they pretend really hard to be very humble. Both of these content creators and both of these stories, the first one I remember who they are, but the second one, I cannot remember what the person's name was. I remember their voice, I remember what they look like, but I can't remember their name to look them up. But I do remember that this content creator blew the fuck up during the pandemic, blew up. And the last time that I saw them, I believe they had hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So they went from a couple thousand subscribers to hundreds of thousands of subscribers in a few months. That's how popular their style of content was. And I knew when I first saw the content that that's how popular it would be. But I had this idea that because it was a small content creator that people would be, I guess, more grateful or more humble. But I was wrong. And so at that moment, it's just like it turned on a light and I realized that a lot of the content creators that I was watching at the time, the big content creators that I was watching at the time, I noticed that these people all had the same thing in common. None of them ever responds to viewers at all, but in their videos, they regularly reference having DM'd or messaged or talked to other content creators who they aren't friends with, who they don't do business with, just casually. They reference like, oh, you know, I sent a DM to so-and-so, or I messaged so-and-so and they got back to me and they said this and that. And it's just like, big content creators surely get probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of DMs on a daily basis. And so it makes sense to not respond to a person or not respond to comments when you are flooded with thousands of them. Like that, logically, it makes sense to me. But the fact that these people who claim to be so busy and so swamped, I guess, in comments and in messages from other people, at that moment, it amazed me that some way, somehow, they always manage to see messages written by other famous, popular content creators that have a similar amount of subscribers as them. And then at that moment, I realized that that's not it. It's not magic that they just happen to see a message by a famous content creator. That's not magic. What it is that they go through their DMs and they scan down and scan through and they look for blue check marks. And then when they see a blue check mark, that becomes a message that is worthy, quote unquote, worthy of responding to. And so at this moment, I realized it wasn't just these two content creators. All the content creators that I had ever watched, I had left messages, done this, done that. And this is not even just big content creators, not even small content creators. This is also micro content creators. A lot of them, just as a standard, don't acknowledge any fucking body. And then at that moment, I realized I don't need to be fucking subscribed to these people. Because I don't know if y'all realize this, but the subscriber count on any channel, anywhere, on any platform is a massive fucking ego boost to content creators. So many people who watch social media and who follow people and who participate in their content, maybe buy some of the things they sell. A lot of people think that a lot of content creators are in it just for the money. And that is definitely very, very true. I'm not saying that they're not in it for the money, but more than that, they are in it for the fucking ego boost. The number of subscribers that content creators amass is one of the biggest, most important metrics for their quote unquote career as content creators. So even though content creators don't get 100% viewership from all the people who subscribe to them, just having people having clicked the subscribe button on their account further validates their ego. And so I realized at that moment, I don't need to further validate your fucking ego. You upload content to the internet and then another person comes along and they watch that content and they are amused, they are entertained, they are informed, they are educated by that content, right? I think that that alone is a fair enough exchange. I think that is a fair enough exchange. Personally, I think that that's a fair enough exchange. But to go further and do more, it feels like I'm doing you some kind of a favor, because when you subscribe to people, their shit starts popping up in your feed and you start seeing it more often. It's like, if I'm going to subscribe to you and see you more often, I want to feel like I'm getting something for that, not just your face, right? Because at the end of the day, we are all just people, and you are not special just because you upload shit to the internet. I am not special because I uploaded this video to the internet. If you are listening to this video and you want to make content, make content. You want to know how to become a YouTuber? Upload shit to the internet and you are a YouTuber. Voila, it's not really that hard. But I have to subscribe to you and boost your ego, and what do I get in return? I get your content? Can get your content for fucking free without doing any of this. And so another thing that I think people don't realize is that there's this misconception people have where they think, if I don't subscribe to this person, then I won't see their content in my feed. So this is actually false. So the truth is that as long as you watch the content, it will reappear in your feed. And so once I stopped following people and stopped subscribing to people, this has never disrupted my ability to watch their content. And this is not personal, it's not petty, but I feel like if you are going to ask of me to subscribe to you, then you should at least have enough respect for the people who subscribe to you to acknowledge them in your comment section, especially to reply to messages, to respond to messages, to like messages, because it does not exist the case that most content creators, at least the ones that I watch, are not able to do this. And it is a big part of being a content creator to have interactions with the people who watch you. That's a part of it, right? If I go to a restaurant to eat, I am paying for part of that experience, right? I'm paying for it. I could eat at home, right? I can make my own food. I can serve myself. But when I go to a restaurant, I am willing to pay a higher price to have a person greet me at the door, to have a person walk me to a table, to have a person take my order, to have a person bring me my food, right? We are paying for the food and we are paying for the service. To have a person, say, thank you for coming, please come again. We pay for that. And I think that a lot of people say, well, viewers on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, et cetera, don't pay anything. And it's like, but at the end of the day, viewers are the reason you get paid. If viewers don't click on your content, you don't get any subscribers, you don't get any views, you don't get any sponsorships. If you don't get any views, you don't get any advertisements on your videos, you don't get any money, right? So I think that even though viewers don't technically most of the time pay directly, we are a part of the reason why you make money, and you have to acknowledge that. So what really aggravates me, though, is the excuses that a lot of content creators make for just completely and utterly ignoring their whole entire quote unquote fan base. In my opinion, it's just rude as fuck. It's just rude as fuck, right? As I said, you are in the position you are in because viewers and audiences watch you. You are in the position that you are in to make money because people watch the advertisements that advertisers put on your videos. If people didn't do that, you would not make any money from it. So it does exist a case that to some degree it is a fair exchange because the viewer is entertained and the content creator has made the content, but it goes deeper than that because due to the viewer's presence on your platform and on your page specifically, you are able to make money. And I feel like not acknowledging that is rude as fuck. To not even bother to respond to any comments for me is crazy as fuck. Like, it's crazy to me. This is why on my channel, I respond to every single comment that I get. And I usually respond to all of the replies that I get to my comments because it's the least I can do, right? It's the least I can do. I make long ass videos running my mouth, and then I ask people all kinds of questions and I say all kinds of things, and then I chose to put it on the internet. And so naturally people are going to come along and they're going to watch that. The one thing that you cannot get back in life is time. So I put this content on the internet and you spent your valuable time that you can never get back watching it, and then you took it further and you decided to comment on it. Guess what? The least I can do is acknowledge the fact that you commented and thank you for it, or respond to your questions or to your opinion or whatever. But when people don't do this at all, it seems excessively rude to me. And I don't think that content creators should have to respond to everybody, but it doesn't make sense that they don't respond to anybody ever. All the while asking them to like, comment, and subscribe, asking them to join their memberships, asking them to click on their sponsorship links, asking them to do all of these favors for them. And all they're doing for you is putting up some content to the internet. And it's just like, nah, I don't think so. So the whole busy lie is another thing that really irks me about this situation, because again, a lot of content creators will say, oh, I was just so busy making content that I just couldn't do it. And it's just like, guess what? A large portion of the content on the internet right now is not really that highbrow. It's not really that high production quality, right? The reason why we watch content on the internet made by individual people is because it has more of a relatable and realistic feel to it versus like cable or network TV style content. There's a huge gap in the amount of time it takes to produce, for example, a Netflix show versus a YouTube video. The video that you are watching right now will take me the time it takes me to record, the time it took me to make this little presentation, and then the time it takes me to clip it up. Maybe just 2 or 3 hours, right? And a lot of the vloggers, the lifestyle content makers, the opinion channels, the commentary channels, the gaming channels, the reaction channels, a lot of these channels, they don't even use scripts. They don't really use multiple angles. They don't really do much editing, right? There's not really a lot of effort that goes into making a lot of content on the internet, if we are being honest about it. So for a lot of content creators, it really doesn't exist the reality that they are too busy to ever respond to any comments or to ever acknowledge anybody. But I always notice that they always have all of this time to just be out and about doing all kinds of other random nonsense, right? And then posting it online about wasting hours and hours a day. I remember that recently in the last, I think, few months, a content creator uploaded their daily schedule, and it was just full of a bunch of just nonsense. Taking a bath, getting ready to go out, running errands. And I'm not saying that content creators don't have a life outside of the internet, and they shouldn't have a life outside the internet. Of course they do. But the more and more people start making content, and the more people start showing their lives as full-time content creators, the more viewers start to figure out that the average content creator is not busy. They only work for maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. And since that is true, it's a lie that they're too busy to acknowledge anybody. That's a lie. The reality is they simply feel like they don't have to. And because they feel like they don't have to, and nobody complains about it or nobody does anything about it and there's no consequence to it, they don't. But for me personally, I'm not subscribing to your channel if you feel like you don't have to show any kind of gratitude or respect through your actions outside of putting content on the internet to the people who watch you. And at the end of the day, it's just the arrogance for me personally. It's arrogant. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's arrogant to get on the internet and to post videos and then expect people to come and watch it and then ask them to like, comment, share, subscribe, ask them to buy your merchandise, ask them to click on your links, your affiliate links, and to buy products you recommend, ask them to sign up for your sponsorships and this, that, and the other. Ask people to invest their time and attention into all of these things, and then in return, you don't really necessarily reciprocate any of that. And I think that a lot of content creators get in this mindset where they feel like, well, me uploading content to the internet is reciprocation. And it's like, nah, it's not. Because at the end of the day, it's 2025. When social media was first started, I was there, right? I'm a millennial. We were all there. Gen Y, Gen X, we were there to see it. We saw the evolution of social media. We saw people go from being nobodies on the internet to being celebrities, right? We saw the transition. We were there. And even now, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, it is so pervasive to have smartphones, so pervasive to be able to shoot and clip and upload videos to social media platforms. And it's done so easily and so effortlessly because there's so many more tools than there were in the past that no, there doesn't really exist the case that this lie that this job is this big ass, hard ass job and it's really hard to keep up with it. It's just arrogance, right? A lot of content creators, because it's been normalized for so long to just ignore your audience and ignore your viewership, everybody else just does it. And like I said, you see this with brand new, very, very tiny content creators that only have double digits, low triple digit followers. You have people who have tiny YouTube channels who upload content once or twice a week, once or twice a month. And these people's content is not anything spectacular, but these people also don't respond to comments. They don't acknowledge anything anybody writes to them. They don't respond to messages. They just ignore everybody. But on the flip side, they have all the energy in the world to ask you to do all of these things for them. I think that people are always surprised when a content creator is kind of outed for being arrogant. And it's just like, why? It's like these people have been ignoring you for years. They've been ungrateful for years. They've not delivered on promises for years. And I think that this is something that people become over time. And I'm not saying that it doesn't probably exist already in them to some degree, because I think that it does. But I think that a lot of people, from my experience, they basically do what they can get away with. So because they can get away with it, they do it. If it existed the case that, for example, it was really hard to get subscribers and it was really hard to get people to stick around on your channel if you didn't acknowledge them at all, if that was the case, from tomorrow onward, every single content creator that has been on the internet claiming to be too busy, claiming to be swamped, claiming to be overwhelmed, would be in their comment sections for hours and hours and hours a day. Because guess what? We are all chronically online. All of us. Usually when I'm not at work or I'm not focused on something else that I have to do, I'm on my phone looking at YouTube or looking at Instagram or reading a book on my phone or watching a video on my phone or listening to something on my phone, listening to music on my phone. It does not exist the case that everybody is not always on the internet, right? And I love how people like to say that that's true, but we all know it's not true, right? We all like to pretend like, I like to put my phone down for a few hours a day. If you are a content creator, you are 100% always on the fucking internet. If for nothing else, they are online checking their stats. They are checking to see how their videos are performing. They are checking to see how much money they have. If for nothing else at all, they're online doing that. And if you watch this channel, you'll know that somehow I can respond to comments really, really fast. And that's because I have my phone in my hand most of the day, just like you do. So whenever I get a comment, I can just pop it open and respond to it quickly. Like, it's not that hard. But I found that a lot of content creators act like them having to acknowledge the people who watch them is the biggest deal in the world. And for that reason, I will not subscribe to anybody who doesn't acknowledge anybody in their comment section. So this is like a litmus test for me personally. If I open your comment section and I look at multiple videos and you just don't acknowledge anybody ever, that's a no for me, dog. Like, it's a no for me. No, I'm not subscribing to you. I'll watch your content. Maybe your content is interesting and that's really nice, but I'm not subscribing to you. Like, I'm not boosting your ego. At the end of the day, content creators primarily get paid based on the number of views they have and the watch time, right? So guess what? You can have my watch time, bitch. That's it. You can have my watch time. You're not getting anything else from me. You're not getting a subscription from me. You're not getting an ego boost from me. I will not comment. I will not like. I will not share. I don't do any of these things because from what I have seen for the vast majority of content creators across all different platforms, all different sizes, from tiny content creators to huge content creators, is that they all develop this attitude of thinking that they are special, that they are somebody that other people should waste their time on, but in return, they don't really have to give as much. And at the end of the day, guess what? I don't like that. And because I don't like that, I choose not to associate myself with those types of people. And this is a big reason why I have decided from the beginning of my channel, I will never ask anybody to subscribe, never ask anybody to like, or never ask anybody to comment. If people do these things for me, I am eternally grateful for them, and I will always try my best to respond to every single comment that I get. And if I didn't respond to your comment, it's mostly because YouTube didn't alert me of your comment, but usually I'll just go back in my YouTube studio and I'll double check to make sure comments haven't been hidden or deleted or something. In my opinion, I think this is the bare fucking minimum that I can do, right? My videos are not that hard to make. I talk a lot. If you waste your time on this channel listening to me make videos, the least I can do is acknowledge your effort and acknowledge your attempt to speak with me or have interactions with me. When I watch YouTube or I watch Instagram or I watch other platforms and I comment something, I am doing this because I want to have an interaction. Even though we are strangers to each other, it doesn't mean that we have to be unfriendly to each other or that there has to be this huge gap in between us, because I am not a celebrity. No content creator on the internet is a traditional celebrity. And that's the reason why content creation is different from, for example, Hollywood actors and Hollywood personalities. You can have my watch time and that's all you can get, but I am not subscribing to you. And even now, 2-3 years later, when I click on videos and I look at the comment section, almost no content creators respond. And apparently on Reddit, I mentioned that I don't follow anybody and I don't subscribe to anybody. And apparently this pissed off a lot of aspiring YouTubers. I guess they were mad that I decided I don't want to subscribe to anybody because, as I said, a lot of content creators, their ego is surrounding how many subscribers they have. Even if you watch their content and they get a lot of views, they will be eternally bothered by the fact that 20,000 people watched my video, but only 10 people subscribed. I promise you that will bother them more than the fact that they got a lot of views. I'm not subscribing to your channel, and I also don't want you in my face, because I don't want you to think that you are special, because you are just as human as I am. So, thank you very much for listening to my random presentation about this issue, and let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below, and I will be sure to respond. This has been a Cosmic Nebula video, and I will see you in the next one.